Hey! Oh, hopefully everything's working. I don't think my headset's working. I don't know if everything's working. Alright. Trying to do the professional setup here. Got my little phone stand with the chat on my phone. I've got everything going here. Type a little message in chat there. Yay. Hey, the money 125 is here. Okay, got the music. Got the tunes. Sweet. It looks like we're all good to go here. Yeah, this is going to be amazing. I got some exciting banger replays for everybody. Oops, that's my Steam. You can look at my Steam. See the way too many hours I put in a Rocket League. And then it looks like the Rapture's about to happen. So let me fix that. Fix the lighting a little bit. Alright, let's go. Let's see. So the little black square should be the chat window. I need to get an actual like real setup. So yeah, like with like an actual good layout. I just have no idea how to do it. Okay. So got some banger replays. I'm probably just gonna. My brain's unfortunately too fried to play Live League, and I don't want to embarrass myself that badly. So I'm gonna take my jacket off actually. Just gonna go over some banger replays here, and it is going to be absolutely amazing. And I'm struggling with my jacket. See, that's how bad Live League would go for me. I can't even take my jacket off properly. Alrighty, so let's. I'm gonna actually do one more message in the chat and see if it pops up on my little thing there. That's my little phone account there. Should hopefully work. Alright. It's not perfect, but you know what? It's good enough. It's good enough for right now. I'm gonna get an actual real layout for next time though. I just gotta get it. You're fried too. I'm glad you understand. But that's okay, because now you can turn your brain off and look at some banger replays. So we're gonna look at this awesome replay from Looming Threat. Which I played against Gompers, who is rated, I think, like, somewhere between 1,000 and 1,100 at this point. A lot of Discord messages, too. And that's never happened unless I go live. Everything good with the sound? Alright. Glasses on. Sorry, I'm, like, so discombobulated. This is why I can't be on Live League today. Alright, so we've got Looming Threat here, and this purple and this blue seem really similar, so we'll go red for Gompers. Gompers is a really good player. I think rated like somewhere between 1,000 and 1,100, like I said. Who's picked Andy. Got no day-to-day abilities, but Andy's got Hyper Repair, healing all Andy's units for 2 HP, and then one of the most busted superpowers in Tier 3, which is a Tier 3 matchup, we've got Hyper Upgrade. Heals all of his units 5 HP, gives them +1 movement and +10% attack. And that thing is like a game ender. Like people say Hawk's Black Storm is a game ender, Hyper Upgrade is the real game ender. And then I'm playing as Lash, who I think is really solid on this map. Units gain 10% attack for every terrain star, however air units are unaffected by terrain. So, for example, I'm on this forest, that's 2 terrain stars, that's 20% attack. And unlike terrain defense, and I didn't know this for a long time, unlike terrain defense, that does not scale with HP. So you're always getting 20% attack, which is kind of neat. But your attack scales with HP anyway, so I guess they didn't want to like have it double scale with HP. This is that sacrifice map, sack the infies into the pipe. Already, yeah. This map is like that. I think the infantry sacrifice play is the best play. But there's also the artillery play, where you put the artillery right here and the 2 infantries, and then the artillery attacks 1. And then Lash Normal Power Terrain Tactics reduces the movement cost of all terrain to 1. And then Prime Tactics does the same thing, but also doubles the terrain stars for a turn. Really, really strong superpower, but Andy's superpower is just better. Not only is it cheaper, but 5 HP healing is just really, really, really good. So let's get into this amazing action. This stream is brought to you by water. I kind of wanted to show this on stream for a specific reason, because I need help with this map and everything. There's a lot of options. Going over them would take forever. Yeah, that is true. I just think the one that doesn't work is the busting open the pipe seam strategy. It just seems to take too long. But red is going to actually be very aggressive and maybe go after some of these contested cities early. The comm tower areas are the places that get the most contested, I've found. Like, it's kind of like this area gets pretty contested, but there's not a whole lot of cities, so mostly the fighting occurs over here and like over here on the side, and then like these areas like kind of towards this comm tower get contested too. But this map, like, anything can happen. This is a crazy map. I like this map a lot. But there is a lot of craziness that goes on with it. And here's some craziness right now. I got the artillery right here. So I'm clearly going for the double capture, put the artillery right here strategy. I don't think it's a bad strategy. I don't know what the pros do because I haven't studied very many pro games on this map. But that is a strategy. Red opened a tank in the middle, which will also be really strong. And because of this artillery right here, I'm losing a lot of tempo over here in this front, as well as perhaps down here if the tank decides to go that way. So I think maybe the infantry strategy of just keep using infantry over here is a good idea, but also like delaying it, I don't know, like this is a tough. I think there's just too many options. I think it just kind of depends on who you're playing and like your objectives and everything like that. But I wanted to get this flip really early, get the airport really early, even though Lash's air units don't get buffed from her ability. I think my there we go. I had to fix my chat window for a second. So that's it, you know. But I'm losing a lot of tempo over here, and that's gonna cost me, as you'll see. Anyway, all these infantry are just gonna shuffle, run around like idiots. And going to get a couple caps here. Tank is actually going to go this way and perhaps harass this infantry. So I need to build like a tank or something down here to protect, or else my infantry is just going to take a free shot. I've got 11,000, so I can build a tank right there. So yep, double cap. There's the artillery right there. There's the tank going in, and now I have everything covered over there. But now I lose a bit of momentum over here. But I've got infantry. Lash only has one infantry right here. So I'm like, okay, there's this recon. The recon build counters the double infantry artillery build. And as soon as I saw this recon, I was like, oh no, I'm in some trouble. The recon does like 4 damage to the artillery, and then it can also hit infantry. So like that is a really good way to disrupt the double cap artillery strategy. So I would need to build like a tank up here in order to counter it. Which I probably should do. I think I build it out of here, actually, which is a mistake. Artillery is going to take that shot there. So goes after the city. I think going after either one is pretty good. And going to move up. I'm going to put this guy to grab that city. There's really nothing I can do to stop it. So good find there by red. And going to tap the artillery down to 2 HP. My artillery is going to get hit. I don't build a tank. This needed to be a tank right here. This was a mistake. This was, add that to the blunder list. Oh, you got, can use exclamation mark blunder in the chat. Let me try typing it here on my phone. Oops, I can't even, I should do it on my computer, but if, type exclamation mark blunder, and then the bot should add the blunder list, and it would be amazing. So hopefully that actually works for once in my life, but it just doesn't look like it's working. Oh, there we go. There we go. The blunder list is online, so you can use exclamation mark blunder every time you see a blunder and add it to the blunder list. And we got our first one right here. This 100% needs to be a tank. Then it stops this recon kind of invading my area. and it can trade out if the recon goes to hit my artillery, and then perhaps I can use the tank this way. And in fact, I'm playing a game now that I'm going to lose, where I tried this against my opponent. They built a tank, and then they countered the whole recon strategy. So I think I'm gonna build a tank out of one of those, but that's just not going to be good enough. My opponent also gearing up with the artillery as well, and got the tank on a good square and ready to perhaps contest this. So many options here, but my infantry's going to take some damage. 80's going to go after these comm towers, going to go after that city. So out of the opening, my opponent is definitely better, but luckily I'm not at the elo where it's just an instant resign if you blunder the opening. Yep, my artillery does take the 4 damage there. It would be nice if I had a tank to trade that out, but I built a tank out of here. Go for the interrupt. This is really, really strong because I get that 40% attack while on the mountain. Finish off the artillery. Gonna join cap here. And that's got 4 HP, so I think that's guaranteed. I don't know if the recon can do enough to knock me down to 2, 3 or less. I'm gonna go in on this comm tower. And the artillery is locking down this city right here, so I can't push it. I'm going to push this tank up here. So this tank is going to chase the recon from the middle all the way around the board, which is completely asinine, instead of just building another tank right here. But I do build a copter, so at least I have something over here to counter this recon. This tank is very silly, however. Like, I am fighting for these, but perhaps it would be better to move the tank down here and fight for this area and counter the artilleries. But at the same time, 1 tank versus 2 artilleries, the artilleries are going to win that every single time. So, going to protect the comm tower. It's now guaranteed. Build another tank out of the middle. This one's probably going to go down here. It's been a while since I finished this game. And now going for the double cap artillery build for red there. And I'm going to start a capture there. Recon's going to take a free shot because my tank is... Oh, actually, my tank's right there. My tank can cover it. But then this red can... this red tank can cover it there, so it really is kind of a free shot, unfortunately. I could, however, looking at this, go tank attacks the recon, and then this tank goes up here, and now I just have a tank chain over here, and we just keep brawling in this area. And that's probably that's probably the best option, as opposed to, oh, so exclamation mark blunder list shows the total number of blunders, but exclamation mark blunder adds to the list. So I don't know why exclamation mark blunder list is not working, but the bot should be saying there are this many blunders. I actually pull up the bot and make sure. Here's my dashboard. All right, well, it's making me log in. Okay, Streamlabs being ridiculous. Okay, so exclamation mark blunder list should be working, but if you see a blunder, do exclamation mark blunder. Exclamation mark blunder list shows shows all of them. But now the artillery is going to move right here, covering the cap, and now we're seeing some fighting. We're seeing some major fighting. I'm also letting red just walk onto these cities, so I've just totally bungled this entire opening, and now I'm just going to be down. I slow down the airport. I take a shot there. I also finished that infantry off. I'm not worried about the artillery because I think I can go in on this infantry and win this area. I've got a tank. This tank can rotate over. The artillery, like, if it shoots over here, it's not repositioning to defend this infantry or anything like that. So I'm even going in on this mid-comm tower as well. And going to take out the infantry right there, which I'm happy taking this trade because there's not a lot of red infantry to get back in there. Oh, there we go. So now exclamation mark blunder list works. Total blunders 1. So far, haven't seen too many blunders, but a lot of inaccuracies here. What I think fighting into this is not a bad idea, because I've got the copter that can come in, I can tank chain and just keep, like, sending units over here and fighting this big blob as I'm winning this, kind of this side right here. As if this middle has to keep fighting over here, I can keep rolling this side. So I think I need to be more aggressive, especially as Lash, but I decided to get the KO right there. That infantry was very free, but So I disallowed that, but I am not sure if that's the best move or if fighting here is the best move. And that's the problem. That's my problem, is I don't have the long-term vision. Like, is fighting here, establishing a tank chain, bringing the copter in a good idea? Also took a free shot there on the infantry on the comm tower because it was available. Now the artillery is going to knock my artillery down to a 1 HP, and my infantry gets taken out there. I'm going to go for the interrupt, and I have the infantry advantage over here, but both my infantries over here are weakened, and then I can bring the tanks over and help out with the artillery tank battle. Also could bring this tank over. My infantry on the city does unfortunately get picked off. Now this cap. This tank's nice and protected there by the infantry. So far, very solid from red. Gonna even start this and the tanks up covering. This might be a little bit greedy from red, as I want to fight from mountains. I just hop onto the mountain, take that shot. That's not going to be a problem. Annie's hyper repair almost online though. This is guaranteed. So that was a nice find. Nice little weasel infantry here. Hello everybody. I've got chat on my phone. I'm like officially like all set up. It's amazing. Don't forget, you can use ! blunder if you spot a blunder. And going to go in on the comm tower, not guaranteed, as this 3 can easily be broken through. The recon can go in as well. But I bring my other tank up, the copter, take a free shot there, and I'm able to take it out with the tank, and have the infantry capture. So that's captures guaranteed too. So I'm crawling my way back into the game and take out that infantry, which is just completely hanging. And now, even if the tank shoots at the artillery, for example, I have the copter, this tank, and this tank all just traded out. So now I'm feeling really good about things. I have one kind of these middle sides. I got those comm towers. In fact, if I could get a 3 comm tower to 1 advantage, that would be really huge. I go in for this shot right here, which is just unfortunately a free tank shot. That was very silly. We can add a blunder to that in the chat. There's just too many. This is just very, very silly for me. There's just too many units over here for me to be doing this. I'm like, oh, I've got these tanks in the area, but really, there's just too many red units. There's this tank right here. It can't attack anything except this infantry, but it can come reinforced. So this tank can go in, take a shot, build another tank. That's instantly a tank chain, and then this tank comes in. So I'm just being very silly, being a little too aggressive, being a little oonga boonga, as Deejus would say. And I built a mech over here to counteract this tank, which I think is going to come in there. The recon is going to punch a hole in my comm tower defense. There's that nice little shot on my tank right there. I'm going to get a couple good shots on my infantry there. And goes in, interrupts the comm tower. Although I'll take that trade. That's a really good trade. Tank goes down here, and it is safely out of range of my tank. So nice move there by red. I'm going to take a shot there and take out the infantry. So where I had made a lot of progress up here, I'm throwing the game down here. And it's just a tale of 2 Kesslers right here, as we see some really good plays and we see some really bad plays. Uh-oh, a blunder was spotted. To money 125 has spotted a blunder. Add that to the blunder list. Yeah, now I've lost this whole bottom area. I have no reinforcements. This tank is just completely screwed. And my stuff over here, like, I can't really push in. So this tank taking that shot on the artillery is just not good. This artillery being damaged doesn't really help me a whole lot. And there's the anti-air to counter the copter, another tank in this area. And just like that, I've once again choked my advantage away. I will use the 1 HP artillery to take 1 HP off that tank. So small mercies right there. That thing gets absolutely obliterated. The plus 40% attack mech, even the 5 HP, finishing the job there. And okay, so I go in and actually take out that 7 HP tank. So maybe that was good. Now I can put this tank on the city or the silo, perhaps, have a really strong position. Let's see if I do that. I decided to go get a little back capture there and back off from the comm tower, as I didn't think I could really push into this. This tank's right here. Anti-air as well is right there. Going to get the nice terrain. Got the artillery covering. Gonna get this city. So I'm up 2 cities right now, equal on comm towers. Put the artillery here to tap that infantry after the city gets taken out. Hyper upgrade though, almost online. But for me, I got terrain tactics charged, but not quite prime tactics. I got to get 3 whole stars of charge or more in order to get prime tactics. So instead, I backed this tank off right here to cover this artillery, which is absolutely unnecessary. Why am I doing this? I'm actually so stupid, chat. Add that to the blunder list. This tank has no chance of getting into the square. Why is this tank right here? This tank needs to be literally anywhere else. Probably on this silo tile, because I don't think the tank can reach the city. Yeah, tank on the silo tile. Oh my gosh. Why is this tank not on the silo tile? It covers this tank right here. It has really good terrain, so this tank can't really attack into it without taking a losing fight. The artillery is not covering the silo tile. And this is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, this is incredibly silly and very dumb. This tank needed to be right here. At least that's what this tank was like right here in that area, right? Let's see where it was. Yeah, so it goes on the silo. Problem solved. So yeah, that's a blunder right there. Now, I'm gonna get the airport. The 2 HP artillery finishes my poor 1 HP artillery off. Gonna get a nice shot there from the lab. And going to go in on my infantry, take it out completely. Artillery is going to sit on the city. Now make a play for that comm tower and this city right here. So now I've lost the area. We're just trading back and forth map control. Trades out the infantry, goes in there, and the anti-air goes in. So I kind of left this tank completely hanging. And the hyper upgrade almost online just needs 3,000 more charge in order to get it. But there's no reason for Annie to pop it this turn. You could heal off a couple units, but Annie just retreats over here, just ready for the attack. But I'm almost to prime tactics. I'm 13k away, which is not that big of a deficit at this stage in the game when all these vehicles are attacking. And the mech one-shots that hapless infantry on the road right there. And I decide to bring this tank back, bring the artillery back to cover it. And yeah, I was not aggressive enough. I was like 2 Oonga Boonga down here at first, and then I wasn't Oonga Boonga after that. I think I just needed to stay all the Oonga Boonga. And then I back off, being the opposite of the Oonga Boonga. Build an anti-air to counter the copter. Gonna build a nice little wall for my tanks. You have power coming? Yes, I do have power coming. It's sad when the tanks do cover each other. Yeah. I needed my tank to be on that silo there, to be in a nice aggressive position to hit this tank and maybe trade it out. And then that would be one less unit for Annie to repair. But Annie will now just clean up all my infantry because I just left them to die. There was multiple King David infantries, right? King David's harem is going to be greatly increased here because you already knew these infantries had hot wives at home. And me, the commander, King David, if you will, sent them into the front lines as the rest of the armies retreated, and they got picked off by the opposing soldiers, and now their wives are now wide open. You know what else is wide open? That city right there. That's all but guaranteed. I can use a tank to interrupt, but that would be a little bit silly as the artillery's guarding it. So I'm still up 1 city at the moment, but after this I'll be down a lot because that city's going through. So just a lot of mistakes here by me out of this mid-game. The opening was horrible, and then kind of the post-opening, like early mid-game, was great, and then it's back to being horrible. But almost to prime tactics, I'm going to get a capture right here. This infantry can come interrupt though, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with starting a fight right here and trying to split these forces up, and going to shuffle everything around. Going to Kessler equals Mr. Steal Your Girl? Yes. Why is my phone is like behind chat? That's kind of obnoxious. Let me see. I think I can do this. There we go. Fix the whole chat situation here. Oops. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. Yes, I'm definitely Mr. Steal Your Girl. But I don't even like steal the girl. I just take out the guy, right? Just because there's a goalie doesn't mean you can't score, and sometimes you got to take out the goalie. But I'm going to go in for a nice little defensive formation, Copter being very aggressive, forcing an anti-air build out of those spaces, or else my Copter will just get a free shot. But then it could get surrounded. But Hyper Upgrade pretty much almost online, as Andy is actually just going to shuffle around, put the tank on the comm tower as well, and get ready to flip it. And I don't want that flip going through. Andy with 30% extra attack is going to just evaporate my army, so I got to do something. So, yeah, going to have like a nice little right angle right here. The armies are perpendicular to each other. And I learned about that in school. I also learned the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Alright, so I'm like, I could not let Hyper Repair go off, and I spent multiple hours in the move planner for this turn. And I was like, alright, I'm going to capture this. That's pretty obvious. I'm going to take this guy out, and going to hit the anti-air, and that was a roll. That was an absolute clutch roll that I needed to get, because you will see, I shuffle everything around up on the top corner, I do this to begin a fight, and I sacrifice my Copter into the anti-air. Now I have Prime Tactics. I go in with the Prime Tactics, bang, infantry just runs on the mountain, takes out that infantry right there. Really happy about that. Gonna start this cap as well. Gonna block for it on this side. And anti-air finishes off the infantry there. That's a one-shot. Go in to one-shot the infantry there on the road. And take out the tank. That artillery is gonna be nasty. It is gonna inflict holy retribution onto my tank right there. But I have a solution. First I go into the recon. Then I take out the infantry there. Bring the mech, that's not really going to do anything. But I have this mech. Now this mech is going to trade out that artillery next turn. I'll also have my artillery covering my mech. So I even have the Copter take a free shot right here, as the anti-air cannot get there. Also, the Copter can't really get surrounded, because if this infantry were to go right here, I could simply take it out with... Oh no, I can't take it out with the anti-air after Hyper Upgrade. I guess, no, this guy can come help out too. So I could always take an anti... No, because he doesn't reach the mountain. My Copter could get trapped. But there is no anti-air that can cross to punish the Copter getting trapped. And I don't know if Andy wants to build a missile truck just to take out the Copter there that could be trapped in the mountains. But something to consider, I guess. Oh, excuse me. Alright. So, what's Andy going to do? First of all, the Copter is going to take a good shot on the tank. The mech blasts the anti-air down to 3 HP. Artillery hits this. So my forces over here got decimated. And now I'm like, okay, that Prime Tactics, probably a bit of a mistake, as I really only made progress in this area by taking these out, but I'm still not in any position to attack the base, attack the airport, attack any of these properties right here. So that Prime Tactics, like, it is nice getting the super off first, but at the same time, I didn't really get a whole lot of progress with it. I did, however, get this. Andy can go in here and attack here, but I was really happy I got that infantry pick off. I'm threatening a bunch of flips, but I thought that Prime Tactics was kind of subpar. What do you guys think about it? Was that Prime Tactics good? Should I have saved it? Did I bungle the game way beforehand? And Andy goes in, takes out the infantry there, and is going to start this cap. And I'm going to have the Copter come in. That's a free shot. I'm going to capture the comm tower. And because I was able to not hold this area, now Andy's about to have a massive comm tower advantage. Surrounds the recon as well. Very good find from Andy right there. And yeah, I mean, I'm very down in this game. Even though I got my super off, Andy doesn't even have to use his super. And I'm still just getting overrun. But I will be attacking this comm tower, and I'll be getting it, as I'm able to hit the artillery and take it completely out. Start this cap just for giggles. And artillery is able to take out the infantry. Because I'm being really mindful of Hyper Upgrade right now, which is making me play super weird. Prime Tactics defense boost is so amazing. Yeah, but here's the thing about the Prime Tactics defense boost. The issue is, it's the terrain defense scales with HP. So like this 5 HP, for example, if I had Prime Tactics active this turn, it's only getting the half of the 60%, so it's only getting 30%, which, I mean, is still good, but like, it's not 60%. It's not as good as it could be. And also, you get no bonus on roads whatsoever, which is pretty rough. I think Hyper Upgrade is objectively better than Prime Tactics. I'm able to take out that 6 HP infantry. I'm letting this cap go off, but I'm playing very scared of the hyper upgrade, which is making me have a huge mistake. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh yeah, that's kind of a real big thing, and that's why like if you, I'll just illustrate it here. Let's see. If I were to attack an infantry, 46 to 52 it does from a 10 HP to a 10 HP on the comm tower. But then if it was 6, it actually does more. So that's why 20% is the guaranteed takeout for infantry on cities. Because at full HP, it does minimum 46. And then at 6 HP, it does minimum 54. And that's exactly 100. And then that's possible because I've got the 2 comm towers, the plus 20%. So when you hear people say plus 20% is like a key benchmark, that's why. I do get the flip right here. I'm actually up 3 cities right now, but I'm about to be down a comm tower. I'm about to get this one though. I bring everything back down here. This is absolutely a horrible throw, and this is when I officially toss the game. Because I was already kind of getting overrun, but at the same time, what I needed to have done, honestly, is taking a couple shots on these tanks, and like maybe this infantry as well, to force Andy to burn the hyper upgrade. I also built to have a tanks just chilling down here, doing absolutely nothing, not contributing. This tank's just, you know, just having a nice little beach day over here at the little pond. But what I needed to have done is force Andy to use the hyper upgrade, right? Just make Andy kind of waste it, healing like a couple tanks over here, and then I get my super back, and then it'll be all good. But I decided to play really, really passive, and that is going to really cost me. The copter finishes off the 3 HP, and the mech goes in. Mech's almost out of bazooka shells, only has 1 more left. Gonna pick off the infantry there, and that infantry's gonna get the flip. But I'm not upset with how it turned out right here. But I don't really have anything to counter this copter. I have a anti-air, but it's pretty far. And now all my infantry are gonna get mopped the floor with. My artillery is gonna eat a free shot. And yeah, so now I'm in the same pickle that I was before, but now I just lost 3 more units. So I needed to have gone in just to force the hyper upgrade. Copter's gonna get a free shot, and everything else is just gonna get evaporated right here. Gonna even start this. Now the artillery's covering it. I'm almost to another power, which could be useful. My recon goes down as well, but it's not great. It's not great. And yeah, it's not going to be a fun time here. But I will be getting that comm tower. That is guaranteed. So we'll be even on comm towers again. I'm going to take a shot there just to interrupt that. Going to regroup everything. Actually, I do take out the mech. This is a mistake. I left my mech here, able to get shot. What needed to have happened is instead of capturing here, I 2-tap it with the 9 and the 5, then the mech goes down. And then the mech and artillery, I actually can play defensive. Pull them back over here towards my infantry wall or towards my bases. But instead of this, I moved the mech up. So I basically just made a really bad value trade right there. And using this forward to protect the artillery, but not really, as the copter could break it. This tank could, I think, could still get there with the hyper upgrade. So a lot of mistakes being made right now. And I backed everything off over here because I can't make any progress until I have get my anti-air in range. And yeah, so it's not looking good. I go in for a shot, and now Andy goes in, takes a shot on the mech, takes a shot on that mech, and pops the hyper upgrade. So before that, the hyper upgrade actually didn't do a lot of healing. It did heal this area, which I guess is huge. But now the artillery takes the damage. This city, that's just completely free. And going to go in. And all of my units get taken out. Every single unit I have is about to just get absolutely obliterated. That copter takes another free shot right there. Because I just can't stop hanging infantry. Almost have my power. But all these infantry move up. And now the artillery almost has a base lock on me as well. And yeah, tank even takes a nice shot there. Gonna protect that flip. So I'm like super down. That's getting flipped. I am in huge trouble right now. Huge trouble. And the tanks all go back. So I really made no progress. I almost have another prime tactics. But at this point, I think the writing's kind of on the wall, but I do take that tank out. And able to take out the infantry right there. And going to hit that tank, knock it down to 7, allowing my mech to do a little bit more damage, knock it down to 4. Going to go in on that. Artillery's going to trade that out for sure. But I have the artillery here covering the base lock square. And I go in trying to make something happen over here, but I'm going to be giving up a lot of first strikes. Almost have another prime tactics, which is the good thing about Andy holding on to that power for so long, is that I have almost a whole another supercharge. But at this point, I'm just getting overrun super bad, and I can't really make it worth it. I do build a medium tank, which probably unnecessary. Probably a small tank would have been good, as I could still like do everything with the small tank and save 9,000. I could go small tank and then a copter down here or something like that. But a copter down here would get hit, but I do have the anti-air. And now Andy's gonna start these, and yeah, I'm just in a ton of trouble. I'm in a ton of trouble right here. Gonna take a couple shots there because why not? And Andy could get capture limit here. I will hit that city down with the artillery. And now I go in, take out the infantry on the city right there. I'm gonna go in on a tank and activate the prime tactics. I go with the anti-air to one-shot the infantry there. And going in on this side, take out the tank, medium tank, one-shots the artillery, get that nice 40% extra attack. Or sorry, it's 80% because of the prime tactics. And with 80%, I knock that infantry down to 1 HP. Take out that infantry with a tank as well with a nice forest shot. Go in on the infantry right there. Go in on the capturing infantry. Put the tank on the silo. It's going to have 60% defense, but 80% of 60%. So what's 50% defense? No, like 1/5 is 60. So like 45% defense? I don't know. I can't do math in my head right now. So I go in. It's looking pretty good, right? Wrong. Medium tank comes in, obliterates my infantry. Or sorry, my tank right there. And then my infantry up there gets obliterated by the anti-air. Everything, this tank comes in, gets hit to 6. The tank on the forest dies. And then, yeah, that tank getting healed also gets picked off. Copter is going to take some damage. 1 HP tank gets picked off. Another infantry goes down, and I am just getting annihilated. These tanks all shuffle around. Gonna take a hit, and hyper upgrade already charged. Hot live action right here. Hey, Semi's in the chat. Yeah, this is some very hot action right here, except I'm taking the brunt of it. And yeah, I am just getting overwhelmed, destroyed. There's a Neo tank. I want to finish these units off so they don't get hyper upgraded, but then the Neo tank is gonna just obliterate me. So I take a couple shots, and I take a shot there. Hyper upgrades now available. I start a cap, but then I resign. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have any tips, you can drop those in chat. For some reason, the chat is being really weird. So I apologize if I missed your message. But I think the fumbling the opening and the fumbling the kind of late mid game really hurt. And then what I needed to have done over here in this area was go in and take a losing fight just to force Andy to pop hyper upgrade to kind of slow it down instead of me just getting steamrolled. So yeah, a really interesting game. We had some good action. We had some really good tactics. Andy played really, really well. And I didn't. And so Andy deserved the win there. And that is that game. I am going to step away for a minute, and I got my water right here. I need something with sugar to perk me back up. So I'm going to go grab a sugary beverage, and I shall return for the next replay. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. I don't want to do the big be right back screen because it's not going to take like 10 minutes, so I will be back in a second. All right, I have returned. Wash your hands after that, Neo. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I will pull up the next replay here. Here we go. Okay. So now, we've got a very exciting game. We're going to go to the fog for this one. I'm gonna need to rewind this replay before, so you don't see the result. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Into the fog. Into the fog we go. I tried playing Advanced Wars by Web with an LG TV remote yesterday. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, that sounds horrible. You have my respect. Alright. We've got a very exciting high-level fog game. But not only that, we've got Grim. The bald brawler. The hairless hash-slinging slasher, which I can't even say. That's how awesome Grim is. This map is called Cathedral of the Dead, and I actually have another video from this very same map. That's a viewer submitted. That is going to come out in the next day or two. Just got to finish editing that. And so you get to see another more action on this. That's tier 2. But this is a tier 4 matchup. And we've got Grim versus Adder. And this is a really hard matchup for Grim. As that sounds even harder than playing on phone. Yeah, I don't understand how you could play this game with the remote. Grim and Adder is a really hard matchup for Grim because Adder has movement powers. Adder likes to just sit back out of Grim's range and then strike in with the movement powers and take out all of Grim's units before Grim can get an attack off. Because Grim has negative defense. Units gain 30% attack, which is very, very good, but lose 20% defense. So because of this, Grim can guarantee 2-shot pretty much anything on like any terrain because he hits all the benchmarks. However, 20% defense means that his opponents hit the benchmarks against him. Knuckle Duster brings that attack bonus to 50% and Haymaker to 80%. So if Grim had a Calm Tower, I think this is the right math. Grim with a Calm Tower brings that to 90%, and then 10% for popping Haymaker would be 100%. But I could be wrong. Misclicks galore. I don't know how you... Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I don't know how you don't misclick on an LG TV remote. And Adder's got no day-to-day abilities, but with Grim's minus 20% defense, it's basically like your opponents have 25% attack on them, so it kind of does have a little day-to-day abilities. Side Slip gives Adder's units +1 movement, and Sidewinder gives them +2 movement. So really basic, but really, really strong, especially in Tier 4. In fact, Adder is like one of the default best picks for Tier 4 Standard. Now, Fog is a little harder, because Adder has to, you know, scout properly, do all the things. But we've got two very, very strong players. We've got Matemon, who I think is a Days of Ruin main, but is still really, really strong. I think this is like, I think both these players like 1500. And then you've got Laska Larnar, who is, if you've seen any other Advanced Wars by Web YouTubers, you've definitely seen a Laska Larnar game. I believe Laska Larnar played in the qualifiers of APC2, but I could be wrong. But also, like, it's just, you know, exists in the high elo, plays a lot of Global League, and all these high elo games, if you watch enough of them, you'll see Laska Larnar. So, two really strong players here, and we'll see what we can use for Fog, or what we can learn, and maybe use in our own games. And we are going to, so I don't know if this is a base skip or if this is just a capturing this, so next they're gonna go for the base. But yeah, it looks like both players are going to go for their bases, gonna go for their neutral properties there. Okay, so yeah, did go for the base. Now this right side right here is actually Grim's strong side, because it's a quicker reinforcement time for this these two bases right here. And also, another thing to note is this tile right here is like a little rat bastard because it's actually not a river. It's a deep water tile in the middle of the river. And it's really easy to not notice that, but it blocks the infantry movement here. So the infantries have to go around the river. And as a result, also this left side is Adder's strong side. You can break open the pipe seam, which increases your reinforcement time by like 1 whole turn. So, excuse me. In this space, for example, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're right here in 2 turns, right? But if you break open the pipe seam, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get a couple extra spaces of movement there with like a vehicle. But right now, looks like both actually does not attack the pipe seam. You can always see the pipe seam's health in fog, even if you don't have vision over the area. So you can figure out what kind of units your opponent has by how much damage they're doing to pipe seams. But also you got to be careful because I think mechs and tanks and copters all do the same amount of pipe seams. Maybe copters do a little bit more actually. The way to do it is you go to like let's say Grim versus Anti-Neo Tank on road. Anti-Neo Tank on road is the pipe seam health. You always take the low roll. So let's see, a Grim mech will do 19 to a pipe, a Grim tank will do 19 to a pipe, and a Grim copter will do 26 to a pipe. So that's how you figure out how much you can do to pipes. Cool little trick. Alright, Grim with the recon build. Gonna scout some infantry. You know, looking for some infantry there that Grim can smack down with his fists. And the thing you gotta know about Grim is there's no eyes behind his sunglasses, only another fist. And it is absolutely amazing. Grim is so much fun to watch and play. And Grim Guy has inspired a whole new generation of Grim alts. But me personally, I just pick Grim on my main. I just try to style on people like that. I'm just kidding. I just really enjoy playing Grim. And I'm not good enough to really make a hardcore push into the elo like these players are at, for example. So at this point, while I'm getting better, I might as well play the COs I want to play, and not just always like try to play the optimal COs every single time, you know? Okay, so now the recon is going to have really good vision, and these armies are going to finally start seeing each other as the comm tower is going to go under attack, as well as like these like group of cities right here. And the tank hides in the shadows away from Grim. You can't let Grim get these first strikes in fog. I've seen a lot of fog Grim games, just kind of going through them, looking for good replays for you for the channel, that kind of thing. And like a lot of these Grim wins, I've seen Grim get like really strong first strikes. And actually, this recon goes in, and that's a free shot. But of course, Grim doesn't necessarily know that. There could be this copter is too far, this tank's too far, but there could be like a tank in the woods, for example. Because Grim has like no info. So as far as the Grim knows, there could be a tank in there, but just takes that interrupt there, gets a little bit more information, sees that Purple doesn't really have anything in vision range. But maybe that's just Purple strategy, and goes in right here, but there's a tank right there. There's a tank chain from Grim though. So I think Grim might want to take this fight. There's a copter as well, covering, and we might see a big brawl here. Goes in for the attack. Okay, with that 30% defense, it is a 5-7. So that's going to be really good for Grim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This tank can go in, and I don't think it's going to fully take it out. But Grim is going to get a lot of value there. There's no vehicles from Purple to reinforce. Now, going to start the comm tower. Knows that there's the recon still there. But the tank is covering, and the copter here jumps over the river to maybe shift this way and help out with the brawl. But things are looking really good for Grim. Grim is up 1 city right now, and is about to smack that tank. The copter strikes from the shadows and takes that tank down to 1 HP. The 5 HP goes back, and the good thing about Grim is that his infantry, like, guaranteed take out these tanks. Take a look at the damage right here. 6 to 15%. So depending on, like, the actual calc and, like, kind of the rolls, I think that's, like, pretty much a guaranteed takeout right there. Copter gonna own. Yeah, it really did own. It really did own. So the tank goes down, and now Grim is just completely up, basically half a tank, and this is gonna get healed up real fast. Gonna get right back in the action. A 7 HP Grim tank still does tons of damage. So Grim is doing really good. Gonna start this city as well. Doesn't see this infantry, but probably figures that Adder would have something there. The recon can't even see it. And everything else shuffles over around here. Gonna start this capture right here, and looks like Grim's actually fighting on the weak side, but because Grim was able to get that tank KO, now Grim is like winning this area. There's actually no vehicles from purple over here. None. Zero. Copter is way too far away, even with the power. Tank, incredibly far away. So Grim is actually doing a really good job of striking where purple's got no vehicles. And I don't really know, like, as a player, how to tell where vehicles are in fog. I just kind of scout them and see. But Grim is doing a great job with the deception. And the tank is actually going to go over here, put itself on the city to reinforce this area. Maybe thinks there's more things over here. But purple did see the copter. They did see this tank. They didn't see that tank, but could think maybe an extra tank's over here. There's like nothing here from Grim either. So purple can actually push it on their weak side pretty hard. Gets the comm tower. So now both sides have a comm tower. Both sides at 17 cities, and it looks like these two are pretty much guaranteed to go purple, especially with the copter being right there. This tank as well. So Grim was just able to basically get a tank. I think purple might have got an infantry kill or two, but Grim is looking really, really strong. And that tank's going to get healed back up to full, and Grim's just basically going to be up an entire tank. A recon even goes in, takes a shot, sees the copter, I think. Yeah, sometimes the vision can be really weird on the replay. As you can see, like, it says there's no vision on these three, but obviously there is. This recon. So the recon does see the copter. This copter, though, is too far to attack. So that's good positioning by Adder. As Adder against Grim, you want to be like 7 spaces away. So your power can hit Grim, but Grim can't get the first strike. And as Grim, like, it's really hard to play against, like, a player who plays like that, but they have to position perfectly. So as Grim, you basically just really have to punish mistakes as hard as you can. And I'm not like a Grim expert, but I am a Grim, like, I do play a lot of Grim actually. And as Grim is a bottom 5 CO, at least according to Sprightmare. And I trust Sprightmare's judgment when it comes to that. But Grim is really, really strong at punishing positioning mistakes. As you saw, that one tank went down, right? That was a mistake that got punished really hard. If it's like a tank, like, I'll just illustrate this. If we have a Grim tank versus an Adder tank at 10 HP on a silo, 53 to 60, but if it's not Grim, let's say it's Andy, it's doing like 10% less damage basically. 10 to 12 actually, if like versus the high rolls. So, like, for Grim, you get all those high damage rolls, you can punish mistakes a lot quicker, and especially with power. Like Grim with power does so much more damage. So that's basically how you have to play Grim. And if you watch Grim Guy, that's how Grim Guy does it, is trying to punish mistakes. But the problem with Grim is if you're playing, like, if it's a massive underpick or a bad matchup for Grim, you really just have to play perfect, or else and like punish every mistake your opponent has, or else you're gonna get smacked. All right, back to Grim here. And Grim is going to go in for these interrupts, not even scared of any copters, takes it out. There's an anti-air, but it's all the way over here. So the anti-air could go here and this way. Doesn't see the copters down here, though, at all. Probably figures there could be more copters in the area. Adder does like copter spamming. Gonna take out that infantry as well with the tank. And also denies the wood, so Adder can't put anything in there. Gonna start this cap. Grim is actually up 2 cities right now. Grim's got this one that Adder doesn't have the equivalent of. And looks like this one as well that Adder doesn't have the equivalent of. But Adder will be getting this one. I don't see anything that could really interrupt that. And now the tank is going to go over and help out with this area. Little does Grim know that there are no tanks. It is only copters. And the anti-air will move up. Nice central position there. And a good thing about Grim is that Grim's copters, like, basically annihilate other copters. So Grim doesn't have to build anti-air as much as some of these other COs do, because Grim copter-on-copter attacks are pretty much the same as like anti-air, but side slip is basically online, just needs 200 more charge to get it, and it will be activated, and then now Adder can use it to pounce. But purple is going to just shelter up right here, prepare for an assault, and this is how you need to play against Grim as Adder. You Valier says, "What's up?" Hey, what's up, Valier? Welcome to the stream. This is how you need to play against Grim. It would be nice if Adder got an income lead, which Adder might if these two go through. But Adder needs to bait Grim forward at least a little bit, and then use the side slip and just slam into Grim with everything, and decimate all of Grim's army before Grim can get that counterattack. Because 30% attack is nice, but if your unit's at like a 2, you're still not doing any damage. And Grim is actually going to be very aggressive down here. Has really nothing to do with any possible copters, which I've probably seen anti-air come over, or a copter, because you have to, I mean, you see the airports right there. You have to know that there's going to be air units coming. Gonna take out the infantry there in the city, deny that, but the side slip is now online. Going to get that, gonna sacrifice the infantry there, just it's obliterated instantly thanks to that minus 20% defense there from Grim. And going to attack the pipe seam. So Adder will know there's a tank or a mech right there on the in one of these squares, because the Adder can look at the pipe seam damage. And the copters all move up. Anti-air, yeah, there's no anti-air down here, but luckily the tanks are out of copter range. And if you like count, there's like this. Actually, this copter covers all the tanks, but also the tanks are really like kind of far away from the edge of Grim's vision, if that makes sense. So, for example, like right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Adder could like hit there, but then there's so many things covering it, and it would be a huge overextension for Adder if there was a tank indeed right here to just like drive into the shadows and hit this. But Adder doesn't even know there's a tank right there, first of all. So this is really good positioning from Grim, and that is like the key when it comes to playing Grim, is positioning. Like, honestly, if you want to work on positioning, just play more Grim, because you will find out if you're making positioning mistakes with Grim really quickly. And I think everyone should play Grim. Grim is so much fun. And Grim versus Grim is like crazy. It changes the whole entire game because everything dies in one hit. It's so nuts. Especially on like with a 2 calm tower map. But Grim is going to go in here, and Adder's being very feisty up here. Grim could get vision and maybe smack some of these, but I don't think Grim has enough stuff in range. So Adder is pushing up. The copter goes in, and the recon takes out Adder's recon there. But that recon got a lot of info. Saw almost everything here except that tank and that anti-air there. So that's good info for Adder. Recon sacrificing for info, not always the worst, but you don't want to go overboard with it. You definitely don't. Whoa, 15 viewers. Thank you guys for watching. This is insane. And Grim is going to actually back off over here. Grim is up 4 cities right now. Grim doesn't need to like keep pressing the issue, right? You know, you don't want to push your luck and just start capping, getting really greedy, capping things like the shadows. Then the copter is going to come out, blast some infantry. These other infantry are going to come out, especially with side slip being online. So Grim is just playing really defensive, just going to try and hold these cities, maybe keep these neutral as well. Grim actually didn't go for these caps. Probably thinks that there's some Adder units just waiting to strike. So Adder had a really nice kind of bluff here. Everything of Adder's is right here, and these cities are totally free, but Grim doesn't know that. So just playing defensive, waiting for Adder to try and take those cities, because Grim can do that, being up 4 cities. And just like playing city denial. And this is some Poland level gameplay right here. No wonder Matt Damon is a pro. And the recon is going to go in, sees the copter. This copter and this copter are within side slip range of it. Will we see the side slip? Recon's gonna go up, get some more information. There's the side slip. Let's see what happens. The infantry sprints up, hits that one, allowing that infantry to sprint up and hit it. And now we're gonna capture both of these cities. Really good attack there from Purple. And the copter one-shots the Grimcopter. Grimcopter had no chance, and also copters have 3 vision. Sees this tank as well on the city, and that allows that tank to get a shot. And Adder is now going in. The time is right. The Recon is going to go down as well. The tank goes in, allowing that tank to get a nice shot on that tank right there. Tank goes down to 3 HP. And going to move up, start these 2 captures. And Adder is looking really strong, but there is a nasty Grim counterattack coming. Could see a Haymaker even. Grim needs 10k charge, but oftentimes just Knuckle Duster is enough. And let's see what Grim's got cooking up here as the copter comes in. It actually doesn't attack the copter, attacks the tank right there, knocking down to 4 HP, takes it completely out. Now the anti-air is free to take out that copter. Haymaker almost online. Recon goes in, knocks an infantry down, allowing that infantry to finish it off. Goes after the capturing infantry, knocking it down to 6. And there it is, the Haymaker. The gloves have come off, and now Grim is going to turn Adder's face into his next glove as his hand is about to just do the bongo drums on Adder's chin there. Going to, even with the 6 HP, does a lot of damage to that infantry on the city, takes it out, allowing that infantry to go in, sees that city. Oh, nice pick off there. That infantry was trying to be a spy there on the mountain, and Grim says that is not tolerated. Goes in on this, knows there's nothing over here now, can go in, and that copter even goes in one shot. You already knew that copter's gone. Now that copter's gone, and Grim is striking back. All of these vehicles are just evaporating here by Grim. Someone says in the chat, oh shit, yeah, oh shit is right. Gotta interrupt there. This city, though, will go through, so Adder will be getting a flip off of this, but Grim has taken out so many vehicles. Took out, what, 3 copters? No, 2 copters, like 2 or 3 tanks that turn, and look at this value. Grim is up 50,000 in value. That Haymaker, so strong, and Adder doesn't even wait and resigns. Oh man, what a game. That Haymaker was insane. Alright, let's take a look at the instant replay right here. Because that was really a good Haymaker turn. It needs about 10k charge, a little under 10k charge, and gets the guaranteed KOs with the copter and the tank there. This is really good move planning right here, and really good wall breaking. Grim guy comes on swinging into a W. Yeah, exactly. And so that now that copter's down, almost has it. Just needs like what, a little over 5,000. That's 4,500 right there, and then takes these infantry engagements to get the 500 necessary. Actually needs like what, like 400. So it takes another engagement, takes another interrupt, and now has the Haymaker. And with the Haymaker, that was really good charge management by Grim. Really good calculation. Got just enough charge with these guaranteed engagements in order to get the Haymaker. And now everything is going to die. Everything dies. We saw the infantry get picked off. Really smart by Grim to start the captors right here, knowing that there's absolutely nothing over there. And 2 copters went down. That tank, one hit. And that tank goes down, and yeah, this is a really strong attack from Grim, and that was amazing. I had to look at the instant replay there. That was a really good Grim super turn. We need to have, like, you know how they had like Eagle superpower of the year? They need that for Grim. They need Grim superpowers of the year in the Advanced Wars by Web year-end awards, because I nominate this one. That was really strong. Like in Fog too. Adder had a really nice attack, which would be good if like all Grim's army was over here, but Grim was kind of ready for it and had basically the whole entire army over here. And yeah, that's part of Fog. So that game was really good, and like, let's see if we can pull up the stats graphs right here, and you'll see this big bar on the damage when it comes to that last turn. It's going to be absolutely nuts. Alright, So that's the total funds, but let's look at the damage. Yep, there it is. There's the damage right there. Whoa, my voice even cracked. Grim did almost 50,000 damage in that last turn. 49,400 value of damage right there. Look at that. So strong. Absolutely nuts, dude. But that's like how swingy some of these Grim games go. Alright, so we're gonna do let's see. We're going to do a little bit of a little exercise here for this next replay. And hopefully it... Okay, so it opens up here. Oops. Okay. Going to pause the music on this one. And then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to crop out the this side so we can actually talk about the CO matchup. So let's pull this. Okay. This is a beautiful map called Hope Forlorn, and I think I accidentally showed one of the COs right there, or both. So hopefully you guys missed that. Totally streamer moment right there. This map is called Hope Forlorn, and it is like one of the most legendary maps because people love it and hate it. People love it and hate it for mostly like kind of the same reasons. It's like one of like the Advanced Wars by Web maps, where basically like there's a lot of dynamics that all go on here in this map that basically like all like kind of like contain the Advanced Wars by Web experience, if that makes sense. So like you have the strong side versus weak side dynamic. Yeah, iconic map, exactly. You have the strong side versus weak side dynamic where the top is yellow strong side right here, has got the two bases, and then the bottom is blue strong side as the two bases right here. You have these kind of forward HQs, and you also have an uneven number of properties. There's an odd number of cities on this map. This city right here is dead center of the map, and is like there's no symmetrical counterpart for it. So you got an odd number of cities. So if every city on the map is captured, then someone will have an income advantage. I'm a hater because I'm 2 and 10 on this map. Yeah, this map is really hard. This map's really hard. So another thing about this map is you can go push your, like the opponent's weak side, like rush the base. You know, you get the base, you win the game, kind of how it goes. But also, you can push your opponent's weak side, force them to spend a bunch of money over here, and then front shift all the way back and hit their HQ super hard. Because it is really, really hard for yellow, for example, to come in and like reinforce this. Infantry are slowed down by the mountains, right? The airports are so far away, so you go in, you force a lot of units over here, and then bang, you hit the HQ. That's like a common motif on this map. Okay? So, recon is key on this map. Yes, it is. Hey, what's up, Lemon Boy? It is key on this map, and that's what I'm learning, because I'm about to lose like 4 games on this map, because I'm getting out-reconned. Yes, a strong side recon right here, really early, is really, really strong, and I'm learning that the hard way. Because, like, you get it out on, like, turn 4 or 5, and then you can disrupt, like, these, like, weak side captures, like the Comm Tower and City, with the recon, and then, like, build some tanks behind it, and then they're just behind the whole game. Which I lost a game like that, and I'm about to lose another game like that, and I'm about to lose a 3rd game like that, so... about to have some 3 losses because of that recon usage right there. I'm not good with recons. Now, talking about this map a little bit more, now we can talk about the COs, right? I hid the COs. This is a tier 4 match, okay? So you got to think about all the tier 4 COs. Now, if you guys can pop in chat who you guys like on this map for tier 4, who you guys would pick. But I think there's a lot of COs on this map that make a lot of sense for tier 4. Adder is always a solid pick in tier 4. I think Adder might be outclassed by some of the other COs, but Adder is not really that hard to play in terms of like you don't have to be super like good at positioning, that kind of thing. or like super like, okay, like Jess, for example, has a penalty to her infantry and her copters. Adder doesn't have anything like that you have to worry about. Captain Israel says Jake. Jake's also a good pick. Jake has a really nice toolkit for this map. 10% extra attack power on planes. There's a lot of planes, especially like, you know, on the, well, actually, like anywhere around this road, there's a lot of planes that Jake can take advantage of. Jake also gets extra range on indirects. So if you get into an artillery stand down, you can sack a few units, get your power or your super, use the extra range on the artillery, and just blast your opponent's front lines. Then use your extra vehicle movement, and then just hit the juicy insides, the vulnerable parts of their army, and just take out all their army. Jake's really, really good. Another good CO on this map is Cole, because Cole gets 10% attack power on roads. And there's a super highway right here. The Autobahn basically just goes through the entire map. And Cole can attack on it frequently to get that 10% bonus and gets movement powers just like Adder. So I think Cole's a little bit better than Adder on this map for that reason, because like this road is so huge. And there's a lot of roads in the middle, especially near this this contested city right here. So that's really, really good for Cole. And then you still have the cheap powers, still got the movement powers, which can really hit enemies. It's amazing. And last but not least, you've got Jess. So Jess is strong on this map because of her vehicles. Not only does she get movement powers, her vehicles gain 10% attack, so she can always trade out other vehicles. And then with her powers, her vehicles get even stronger. And doesn't have to worry about attacking from planes, attacking from roads, anything like that. She just attacks anywhere she wants with 10% extra vehicle attack. Really, really strong, because I've seen a lot of games on this map turn into vehicle brawls here on the side or in the middle. So with all of that, you know, you can pop in chat who you would pick. You can pop in chat who you think I would pick. I'm going up against Etherithalix, who actually did a collab video with me. Feels like forever ago, but I don't think it was that long ago. I think it was like a month or two ago. We did a collab video. That was really fun. And now, like, we saw each other match in the Global League. So, with all that being said, right, let's do a CO reveal, and let's see who we picked. You already knew I was going Grim, right? As soon as I saw this map, I was like, I don't want a Jake Muir. I don't want an artillery standoff. We're going to make it interesting. We're going to make we are going to go in with Grim. Let's see, someone else says they picked Cole. Cole, I think, is really good on this map. I just don't like Cole. I think you knew it. Yeah, you did know it. You did know it. I think Cole is ugly. I think Cole's CO theme sounds really bad. And I think Grim is just superior in every way. So, we will now check out the game. I started with me choking. Oops, I went backwards. I started with me choking a map. We'll see if I can do any better on this one. And I think this is a really good match to look at, because with Grim, positioning is super important. And you will see that here on this map. So no recon openings. Which is actually, okay, there is the recon opening. Okay, so never mind, I was wrong about the recon. I wonder how I deal with this, because I don't remember. I don't. I just build infantry. Okay. So I decide not to go for the recon build myself. You're our Grim guy's little brother, Grim Boy? Yeah, right. There's so many Grim alts on Advanced Wars by Web. There's Grim Guy, Son of Grim Guy, Grim Junior, like Grim Girl. Cole is Kindle's deadbeat sister, bastard child. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Cole's the worst. I think I like Cole. Like, Cole's like my least favorite CO in the game for so many reasons. I can't think of anything good about Cole. Like, the CO theme is bad, the design is bad. Recon gonna be very aggressive. I will get this city off, but I'm gonna be eating a recon shot and actually ignore the recon for a turn, and I'm going to build a tank out of here, I think, this turn. But I don't go for any recons myself, which is definitely a mistake, so add that to the blunder list. Grim Kid, yeah, I'm the new Grim Kid. But we can add that to the blunder list. No recons, so Jake will be getting like all of these properties right here. And I saved a bit of money, so I get a tank, but it doesn't really matter. I eat a bunch of lead right there, and the infantry goes in. Everything else shuffles forward right here. And there's the artillery. All right, as Jake, you gotta bust out the artillery. You know, you have to do it. The artillery is so good right here because Jake can kind of do the adder maneuver, right? Sit back, get the property advantage, get the super. Now the artilleries have +1 range. I think Block Rock is +1 range. And +2 vehicle movement. Yeah, exclamation mark blunder. Add that to the blunder list. And can just really shell me. And with Block Rock +2 movement, I'm gonna get destroyed. So I gotta be really, really careful here. Move the tank up. As Grim, I'm not really concerned about the comm tower. I don't need it. Excuse me. Oh, already hit the damage thresholds that are really important. You know, as long as you're above 20%, you don't need comm towers as much, right? Going from 40% to 50% attack is not as big of a deal as going from 10% attack to 20% attack. Because, like, you know, extra attack doesn't really matter because you don't get anything for doing overkill on units. You know, they die either way. And actually goes in for the interrupt right here. Has this tank ready to trade out, but I was ready. I built a tank chain. So we're about to see some fighting. I'm about to get the airport online as well. But it looks like both of us in the middle are pretty equal. And as well, I'm pressuring the comm tower, but not really, as Jake can cover it right here. So I will drink my sugary beverage as the recon goes down. Now, maybe if this were a tank, Jake could fight into this. But either way, I don't think it's a good idea. I think this is a fine opening for Jake. I think Jake has a better opening than me. Jake doesn't need to push in anymore because there's no infantry to flip any of these. It is going to get these like little clump of cities right here. And is going to... Oh, let me know if like the little clicking of the sound effects when I click units or whatever is annoying, and I'll turn that off. Jake is going to get all of these and then be able to use the comm tower or the artillery and tank to kind of slow push my forces here and make me use a bunch of resources over here. I already had to build 2 tanks over here to my 1 tank right here. So Jake is doing a lot better than me out of the opening already. And actually, that's a free shot, which I was really happy about. That tank is not there, and my tank cannot actually get trapped. So I was pretty happy about that. I do enjoy shooting things, but now I'm gonna have to back off as all these things are gonna get captured. Gonna protect the tank right here. This is a really solid formation by Jake there. Now I can't. Now I have to back off my tank. I can't get a little cheeky attack there. Doesn't have to tank chain. Artillery is going to lock down this city, so I can't ever capture it. And this is just really well played by Jake, honestly. Going to move some stuff up. Gonna combine my infantry there to start the comm tower. And the only thing that can interrupt it is this tank, which I am all too happy to take that trade out. Jake should absolutely not interrupt this. You know, you're not denying Grim a whole lot by interrupting a comm tower, and it's not worth losing an entire tank over. So, I prepare for a little attack here. This tank can get a shot right here, but with 2 tanks, the artillery can't really protect. And now it's time to talk about positioning a little bit. And this might be a little bit more educational, but that's not really a word that I use when it comes to my replay reviews. But you know, here we go. The issue are like these 3 diagonal contested cities, right? And this tank can cover it, so I obviously cannot capture that. But I'm trying to move my infantry such that I still cover all of these cities, but don't allow Jake to get a bunch of first strikes on me. So if this infantry goes in, can take a couple shots, but then I can easily trade them out, and that's really good for me. Because there's no infantry to follow up or to capture. A good strategy, for example, is to, if there were more infantry, these all go in, take a bunch of fights, and then the infantry sneak in and capture these, you know? like they kind of just creep in unnoticed. You know, like in the SpongeBob movie where he's like Patrick caused a distraction and then he creeps under the door and tries to get the key to the paddy wagon. And gonna get that comm tower. Can't really do anything about it. The artillery now is going to lock down that city. This is really good positioning because artillery locks down 2 cities. Also locks down this square, a possible attack square from this. So Jake is doing really good. Tank blocks for the artillery as well. And now Jake is deciding to focus on the middle. Doesn't really need to push down here anymore. So wisely does not go in on the comm tower interrupt. And gonna build a ton of more tanks. And it is now day 10. Let's see what I can cook up here. Going to go in and gonna build a copter. Grimm's copters are really, really good. You want to spam copters as Grimm. I'm a copter spammer. I'm a Grimm player. It works out for me perfectly as far as that goes. I put my artillery right here. This tank is too far to reach it. And this does cover this square. It does protect this infantry right here, but I gotta be really careful. And I'm preparing for a fight in the middle. I'm not going on the cities because I have no chance of winning this if I go in. So I have to play like Grim Guy. I have to be really patient, and my only hope is that I can survive the Jake Super really at this point. Or catch Jake like making a mistake. But that city, guaranteed, the artillery covers it. The 3 HP sacrifices to deal damage there. And now the copter covers. My anti-air is nowhere near the action. So the copter can take a shot there. So I have to back that infantry off or like trade it for damage or something. Because that infantry is not going to survive another turn. So now Jake actually goes in on the mid-city. Gonna just occupy this city so I can't get on it, and has the artillery covering. So Jake is gonna try and really make some moves here, and I cannot let these mid cities just go. But I think that's might be what I actually do here. I don't remember exactly 100% what I did. Okay, well that is a free infantry there. So, the tank covers this square, but it does not cover this square right here, so I'm able to take a free shot on that infantry there with my tank. And I go in. I take out the infantry there, bring the artillery to cover the city square, and even take a shot there to weakening an infantry. I am going to lose all these infantry, though. They're all going to get steamrolled by Jake. I put a bunch of blockers up, put this formation, and I have to back off over here. Until the anti-air arrives, I can't do anything. I cannot fight into the strong side. Build some more tanks. Excuse me. All right. Going to go in. Takes out all of my poor infantry. Oh no, another infantry goes down. The 3 HP takes out the 2. Gonna start the cap again. Got the artillery, but that doesn't matter. Now the artillery is overloaded as this infantry starts the cap. And that tank, that is a nice little tactic right there for blue, as my infantry there is hanging, and then this infantry protects the tanks from getting retaliated against. But the problem that Jake is running into is that he's playing against, actually goes in for a shot there even. So takes a nice shot. Now my artillery is super overloaded. It has 3 things it wants to shoot at, but can only shoot at 1. So Jake is going in, being very aggressive. But the problem that Jake has is, unfortunately, Jake's going up against Grimm. And things that look good against other COs do not look good against Grimm. First of all, this is free right there, as the anti-air is too far. Block Rock, I don't think is going to come online next turn, so I don't have to worry about the anti-air right there. Artillery easily one-shots that tank right there. Bring that tank back to the HQ to get healed up. So I kind of won that trade, but I have to get these interrupts. Take that out. We're tied on cities, but I go in with the anti-air, which allows this tank to go on this city and take a shot, knocking that tank down to 3, and it allows this tank to take a shot. Now Jake might get the block rock pretty soon. And I even take a shot there for good measure. Knuckle Duster almost online, but obviously I can't use it this turn. I have nothing else that can really attack. And I occupy these. I'm trying to make something happen down here, and this is another thing about Hope Forlorn, is it's really, really hard to break from your weak side to the middle. Really difficult to do that. Because first of all, the terrain is not very helpful. And second of all, you're really just, like, your reinforcements still take, except for recons, take longer to get to this, like, choke point here. It's called that the pivot point. The pivot point here, it's easy for blue to just lock this down and really hard for me to front shift. Unless it's, like, copters that can fly over the mountains. So my tanks over here are just kind of doing diddly poo. And, it's just going to be a sad day. But I go in for a shot there, but I give up the city. I give up the cities, and now Jake's about to have a huge city lead on me. Also, this tank can go and smack the artillery as well. Oh, that artillery is not going to make it. That artillery is not going to make it. You know what else isn't going to make it? These two infantry. Bang, bang. Okay, hits the artillery with the infantry. Knock it down to 8. And backs off these two tanks to get healed back up. I can't really push in. Copter's nicely defended and out of anti-air range. And actually does not go in on the artillery. Didn't really want to start the big brawl. And Jake is just like, I got what I wanted. I came, I saw, I conquered. I'm going to drop back. And also, could start this cap. This infantry could interrupt, but then that would obviously get traded off. Anti-air is right there. Okay, does go into the artillery. I take that back. I'm wrong. Does go into the artillery. And now this artillery protects this this infantry, though, just kind of being a thorn in Jake's side right now. As now the Knuckle Duster is online. So this is looking pretty strong for Jake. Got the terrain, got all the tanks coming in. They had a nice attack right here. Copter covers everything. Anti-air covers everything. So it's going to be really hard for me to cook something up, right? Well, the thing about Grim is that positions that look strong aren't necessarily that strong. I take out the 3 HP infantry, and I spent so much time in the move planner on this. So much time, because I'm like, I can hit this artillery. This hits the artillery. It hits the artillery. This hits the artillery. But I had to get, like, the right wall break here. And in fact, not only can I hit the artillery, I can hit the anti-air. And this is like, I really like the move planner, especially for like newer players, because you can go in, you can mess around and just kind of experiment with things without like actually like losing games, right? You can look at this position, load in the move planner, mess around with an attack, which is what I did. I like looked at every like possible attack I could make and saw which one was the best. So I popped the Knuckle Duster. And this is the only way I could get to this anti-air that I saw. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm trying to brag. This is the only way I could get it to anti-air. I had to, and it comes down to like everything being a one-shot with Knuckle Duster. This is a one-shot. I had to take out this infantry with the tank. That was the only way. Now the copter can take out the 7. And this tank now has unlimited access to the anti-air and one-shots it thanks to the Knuckle Duster. Absolutely insane. There was no other way I could do this. This tank could not reach the anti-air because this infantry in the way, and there's no way I could actually take it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was the best it could do, was attack this infantry. So I could clear out the infantry there. I could clear out the 7 HP and get to the anti-air. This is the only way I could do it. Would not have been possible without the move planner. There was no way I was seeing that without using the move planner. I can't like look at a position and see all the attacks there. I'm able to take out that artillery. That's a one-shot. Now the block rock is charged. I can't really go in for any caps though. I'm too far away from stuff. But I'm able to hit that tank down to 4, going in on some infantry. Take it out. And take out that infantry. Oops. That's a one-shot. Because with Knuckle Duster, you're like one-shotting everything in the 8 HP, even getting good damage on that tank right there. And using the 5 to trade out that tank, bring everything else kind of back. Actually, no, I did that for no reason. And I did that to just get damage on Jake's infantry, because you can't fight on 2 fronts at once, and I don't want to get pinched by all these reinforcements and the middle reinforcements. So that was like one of the best turns I've ever had in my life. was this this attack right here. I built an artillery to deal with this medium tank, and I built another tank in anti-air because I was afraid of this one. And you know, these copters could be an issue. But that was it. I'm now up about 50 or like a little less than 50k in value. But now there's the block rock, and now Jake goes in on the strong side, dealing a lot of damage to these tanks. The infantries will. Oh, this infantry cannot get the roll, and the tank survives, but that infantry shows him how it's done as the tank goes down. Nice little wall right here. Unfortunately, this copter is just completely hanging. Little bit of a misposition there, but that's kind of actually the 1 HP protects it now, but that's really easy to take out. And takes a shot over here even. So I take out the 1 HP with my 5 HP tank, able to get the free copter shot there. There's no anti-air or anything to cover this area, and Jake built a Neo tank. So the Neo tank will just steamroll all my small tanks, and I can, even with Grim stats, I'm doing nothing to this Neo tank. Even with Haymaker, it's still not doing a whole lot. So I'm gonna use artilleries to counter the Neo tanks. But now, because I've won the fight, I'm able to basically grab these 2 cities almost for free. I just need anti-air and tanks in the area to trade on any of Jake's vehicles that might happen to be there. I only have 20,000, so I cannot afford more tanks. I do build a artillery and a copter. Now that my tank there is going to get traded off, goes down to 1 HP, infantry finishes it off, allowing Jake to get a nice interrupt there, knocking my infantry down to 3 HP with that planes bonus, and the 6 HP completely takes it out. Copter goes in for the interrupt. Nice use of the 2 HP copter there, stalling that city out. And the medium tank deals 1 damage to the copter, which is good. The medium tank could heal back up. And we are about to see another move planner turn here. Because I spent so long in the move planner for this turn. I realized that I could take out this, I don't know if it was this turn or next turn, where I realized I could take out this medium tank. I don't think it's this turn. It is not this turn. But I spent a lot of time in the move planner on this turn as well. I go in on this, that is not happening, as the infantry can get on the mountain and interrupt. But however, this is happening. This tank's too far away. Also having a gratuitous blocker there. Infantry trades out that 1 HP copter thanks to Grim stats, and taking out some of these other weakened infantry. Oh, can't quite get the takeout right there. That was very sad. A tear rolled down my cheek, and then I had this guy take it out. Should have just started the capture instead of taking out the 1 HP, but it allows me to get takeout on that tank, and able to get a free shot there. There's no anti-air present, but my copter could get surrounded right here, and that could be pretty nasty. But it's not that hard to break out, as I take a couple shots on all these units. The medium tank, though, is going to inflict some retribution on my units, though. But I'm up a lot, so I can be very aggressive. Even bring 1 anti-air to the party to counter if the copter goes down over here. And we also have this tank, which I think I just leave that to get healed. I built a Neo tank of my own. I'm still down 1 city after all of this, but I'm going to try and grab these 2. But Jake has done a great job out of the opening and done a great job like getting the city lead and protecting it. However, I'm up a ton of unit value. So the medium tank does get a shot on that tank. They're not getting a 2 HP. That infantry gets taken out. And Jake now, all these units are now healed. They are ready to get back into the action. And that big scary Neo tank is going to be a bit of a problem. I've got Knuckle Duster. And now this is the move planner turn. I spent so long in the move planner, and I realized I could take out this medium tank. A copter, 2 copters, these 2 copters attacking, and 2 10 HP tanks guaranteed take out the medium tank with the Knuckle Duster. But then I went in the move planner and I looked at that and I was like, it is not worth it, because if I go in and take out this medium tank, I lose my entire army. This anti-air probably wouldn't get there because there's no block rock on the table, but I lose my entire army if I do that. This anti-air will trade out the 10 HP copter. These 2 tanks will trade out the other 2 tanks that I use. And even though it looks like this is a winning fight, if I take that out, it's really not. Because the longer I keep brawling in this area, the better it is for Jake. Jake's reinforcements are so close. In 2 turns, they're in the action. So I just cannot keep fighting into this. For me, like, this Neo Tank's going to take like 4 turns to get back here. So I have to back off. I cannot go in with the Knuckle Duster. I'm going to start this city, have the artillery cover for it, and move all my stuff up. I start this cap, and I got this flip. So actually, with this flip going through, I'm actually up 5 cities right now, which means now I can just back off, which I have to do. I cannot, I protect the cap with my copters, and I cannot fight into this anymore. I just can't. If I fight into this, I lose the game. So I you know, it's never too late to choke a game, and I have to back off, protect everything over here. Got the anti-airs protected, got the Neo Tank artillery kind of protected, and Jake could move up and get some attacks, but then then it's the reverse situation. Jake cannot fight into this right now either, because not only is it close to my reinforcements, also this big power blob in the middle, and that's why center control is really important on a lot of maps, especially on this one. Because I can front shift up and hit this. I can front shift down and hit this. Jake does not have the luxury. Jake's army is split in half. And especially in like mixed base maps, if you can unite your army and connect your little platoons of soldiers, then you are in a really good spot, because then you can kind of dictate where the action happens, whereas your opponent can't, you know? Medium tank moves up, and that tank, or that infantry, takes a shot. My artillery is there to trade, but there's a lot of blue units over here to trade out my artillery. I'm not going to make sure my weak side just doesn't fall. I have won the middle, but, you know, haven't won the game necessarily yet. But I will be getting that. I've got a 7-city lead, and now I activate the Knuckle Duster. But I do not get... I think that was a roll. No, it wasn't. Okay, I got a high roll there. I don't know my Grim Calyx yet, but I'm able to take that out. Not able to get to that copter, though, and I actually did this completely wrong. I attacked with the wrong tank right here. This tank right here needed to have gone over here, right? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's this one. Okay, so this tank needs to go on this city and attack this 8, but I did this completely wrong, because I had this tank go up and attack this, and now I have nothing to occupy that city tile. If I attack with this tank, then I could have, wait, something, right? Or the Neo tank, maybe? I could have gotten to this, but I did the wrong attack order. I can't even, like, do it now. I can't even, like, replicate for you guys the mistake. Add that to the blunder list, though. If I went in with, like, for example, the Neo tank, took it out, and then I could have that one tank on the woods go on the city, get a nice shot on that tank right there, which would do a ton of damage, probably get that thing at, like, 1 or 2. And I'm able to use the copter to get some damage, but it's not as good. I even get a tap with the infantry. But that turn could have been a little better. Had the artillery come up, I take a shot there with the infantry and back off the artillery. It's safe from the anti-air in this position, although maybe that infantry could take it out, and then the anti-air comes in, hits the artillery, and everything else shuffles back over here. And it's now back to Jake, who resigns. So that is, like, probably one of the best games I've ever played. And I definitely am proud of that one. Definitely wanted to show that one off, because I'm a little rat who likes to smell my own farts. But as you can kind of see, the importance of unit positioning, especially as Grim. You have no movement powers, but it's easier to punish opponents' mistakes, I think, than some other COs. And also, it's really good for, like, finding these wall breaks. And Blue did a really good job on the opening. Did a good job winning the middle, but the kind of middle turns where Blue kind of stuck around allowed me to get that, and kind of took a couple suboptimal fights, allowed me to get that really good Knuckle Duster turn, and had some kind of units just like were not protected properly. And with Grim, Grim makes you pay. So that was a really good game. I will review one more game. And we're gonna end on a really fun game here. I might like take a stream clip and make this game its own standalone video. But this game was an absolute treat. Okay, this is amazing because Phantom Raikou and Crowd are actually my Rocket League buddies and former teammates. I don't know if I've ever been on a team with Phantom Raikou before in a league, but we've done all these Rocket League leagues together. And Phantom Raikou and I are going to be on the same team this upcoming season for Royalty Series. Crowd was on my team many times in the past, was my former coach, and is also a very solid Rocket League player. And these two kind of have a little friendly rivalry going on because they approach the game of Rocket League very differently, and then their play styles translate into Advanced Wars. So Phantom Raikou is very, very aggressive, and just like chases the ball, whereas Crowd is very, very like he just like kind of sits back, kind of waits for the opponent to make a mistake and then punishes. Whereas Phantom Raikou is just like, oh, I'm just better than you. I'm just going to ball you out. And that translates into their Advanced Wars style, too. Where Phantom Raikou is very aggressive, and Crowd is very, like, just kind of sits back, like, it builds up an army, and then waits for you to make a mistake. But both these players are pretty new. Phantom Raikou, I think, started playing the game last July or August. It was rated, like, upper 800s, and I think Crowd is, like, right around, like, 801, last time I checked. Crowd started playing the game, I think, like, at the end of last year. And Crowd is a Kindle main, as he should be. And Crowd is going to show Phantom Raikou that Phantom Raikou is indeed a peasant. Because Kindle is the upper echelons of Black Hole Society. The high society, you might say. Units, even air units, gain 40% attack on urban terrain. That's any capturable building, and with all these buildings right here, that's really good for Kindle. Kindle's about to have a field day with this. This map's called Celeste. This used to be in the Global League, but now it's going to be in the second round of the A Mariner Cup. So hopefully I make that, and we get to see a game on this for that too. But this is a really like famous map. Some people don't like it. It's all right. But anyway, talking about Kindle, Urban Blight deals 3 damage to any enemy peasants that dare defile one of Kindle's beautiful cities by standing on them. All of Phantom Raikou's units will take 3 damage when they occupy a city during Urban Blight. And then Kindle's superpower High Society is when she really puts on the steel-toed boots and presses the peasant's head into the ground, because it gives a 3% attack bonus per allied city. But Phantom Raikou in his just like in his Rocket League playstyle, the brawler Max, who likes to just go in there and fight. Direct units except foot trolls gain 20% attack. Indirect units lose 10% attack and have -1 range. So Max is really strong on this map. It's nice and wide open, a lot of vehicle combat. However, artilleries are kind of good on this map. There's mountains you can hide behind and just start blasting and raining fire down your opponent. So that is kind of a disadvantage to Max. Max Force, his normal power, increases his unit movement by 1 and increases the attack to 30%. And Max Blast increases movement by 2 for those direct units and increases to 40%. So, let the game begin. And turn is loading, so it's just, I'm gonna have to refresh the page. There we go. I'm gonna close out my other tabs, that might make it a little quicker. Yeah, I don't know how to say anything about work. I love my boss, but I don't think he watches this. But one time he was like, yeah, my computer's being really slow, and he was sharing a screen. He had like 20 tabs open, and I was like, maybe that's got something to do with it. It was funny though. It was funny. We had a laugh. Anyway, this opening looks pretty solid. I'm going to skip this to get this advanced city, which I think is solid. And Phantom Raikou is actually going to double skip and grab this city really early. I don't know what the meta is on this map, but this city very contested, but it's also really easy for blue to hold by putting an artillery right here. And with Max, that -1 range actually does not matter because the artillery can still sit right here. Holy cow, I cannot even talk. And smack the infantry that is on the city right there that's capturing. It'll have -10% attack, but that's not really that big of a deal. It'll still do enough damage to lock down that city. And I might accidentally refer to Phantom Raikou as Spoiled, because when he joined the Discord, his name was Spoiled Brat, and I'm not used to calling him Phantom Raikou, so if I start calling him Spoiled, you already know it's Phantom Raikou there. And everyone is going to move up, going to capture some cities. And we have the strong side tank from blue and the weak side tank response from gray. I'm gonna grab the airport as well. Gonna grab this, and so far I don't really see anything weird about this opening. Kind of have the asymmetry of some of these cities being skipped. You know, maybe this might not be a pro opening, but it's not bad, right? It's not bad. This is fine. This is fine. The chaos is coming though. You're in for a treat. We have a second weak side tank over here to counteract this second tank right here. And unfortunately, this I think we can add to the blunder list as I think a strong side tank would have been good. You don't really need an extra tank right here at this moment, or an artillery even. The artillery can lock down the city as well as protect the tank this tank right here. Now, maybe Gray built a tank because Gray wanted to protect this tank right here, but you don't have to do that. You are Kindle. You get 40% attack on cities, and you're on a friendly city, so you get repaired. If Max were to attack, make this attack, it'll knock this thing down to a 5 or a 6, and then it'll knock Max's tank down to a 7 or 6, depending on how much HP Kindle's tank has left. So, okay, so Nox, let's be really optimistic for Max. Let's say this is a 5-7, and then we swap, and then this gets healed up to 7, and now Max's tank just gets destroyed. So, I think this tank here might not be necessary. Artillery might be good, or just an infantry, or a mech. This is bad. Airport can be denied. Yeah, it could, but like, oh, I guess the tank chain can go in. For both. Yeah, that's true. I said nothing was really bad, and then I saw these airports that could get denied. Spoiler alert, they don't, but this tank goes in. I mean, yeah, oh, and then, yeah, so the infantry wouldn't get killed. It would take a lot of damage, though. Down to 4. And then this infantry, then this infantry goes up here and attacks from the mountain. Oh yeah, so blue actually can go in on the airport right here pretty hard. I wasn't even looking at the airports. Good catch. This is why I'm bad at the game. But this airport doesn't get denied. I wonder if it could have got denied last turn. No, there's actually no way that Gray could deny this airport. So that the blue's airport was safe. But blue could go in, use the tank to hit the airport. These tanks would trade it out. You have another tank waiting, and then this infantry goes here, ready to attack the infantry again. Which, long term, if blue keeps fighting in this area, Gray will win because it's close to base range. But Gray would have to build more infantries over there, and it would just delay the airport for so long that blue could get an advantage. I hope that made sense, and I hope it's correct. But I think this tank right here might be a bit too much, but at the same time, like, that airport could get denied. I don't think blue is going to go for it, though. Nope. Goes after that. That's a free shot. There's no tank to trade that out. But we'll let the airport go through. So both airports do end up going through. Now, these tanks back off. This 4 HP protects this tank, but it doesn't necessarily protect this tank. That could be a big problem. Sure, but no airport make the weak side lose. That is true. Yes. That is true. Yeah, you need that airport for the weak side. And now goes in on this city as well. Has a lot of reinforcements in the area. And we'll have that city bonus. There's a tank and the anti-air. Nice anti-air build from Crowd. Max wants to pop out those copters, but this anti-air denies all of them. We'll be able to go up and within like 2 turns get the airport lock. So Max has to be really careful here. Goes in for the mountain shot. Wow, look at that damage from Kindle. An even trade, even though Kindle's on the worst terrain and attacks second. So that's the power, that 40% extra attack. That infantry, though, not going to get as punished. Hits it down to 2. This tank, very aggressive. Starting the comm tower, also threatening to stop a cap right here. So this gray tank has to do a lot of babysitting right here in this area. This tank also could shift over and help out with the defense. And we have a medium tank coming out from Max as well. This game is about to get nutty. Comm tower goes through. That city gets started. And this infantry trades itself for some damage. And mountain infantry takes a shot. This infantry, wow! Knocks that penguin down to 1 HP. And, you know, Gray might not have the city, but just occupying it is enough for Kindle to get that 40% extra attack. And the infantry goes down to 1 HP over here. Gonna start this capture as well. This tank not in range. Actually, this tank's in range. This tank in range, but not in range to hit this tank in the back. So Gray is trying to start a fight right there, but this is technically Gray's city, so Gray has to keep fighting that. There's an artillery to counter the medium tank, and an artillery over here, and a tank right here. So Crowd is a man after my own heart, because he is an artillery spammer. I might have misled him. I might have not taught him the right ways of the game of Advanced Wars BioWeb, because Crowd's 800 and spamming artillery. But you know, you gotta learn how to use artillery sometime. So that infantry does get traded off. This city might go through. Let's see if Blue decides to attack the city there. No. Just backs off. Just plays it safe. Now this tank is hanging to this tank, but has enough coverage right there with the medium tank. And now we are about to see some fireworks. We're about to see the game get really crazy. And if I miss a tactic or something like that, feel free to pop it in chat. We can talk about it, because there's going to be a lot of possibilities right here. I finished recording to turn. The first thing I hear is the medium tank. I have been summoned. That's right. Here's the medium tank right here. And we might see some of the medium tank get bullied. We might see some medium tanks do some bullying. It is only a matter of time. We'll see what's going to happen. This city, though, might go through. This infantry, though, could interrupt, but Gray is doing a good job pressuring here. Both players at 20 cities. Probably not like a pro opening here, as some of these cities are uncaptured. Not the most efficient opening by both players, but this is 800. We're not going to go too hard on every little detail. Goes in for this shot, and this was unfortunately not, and actually goes for like a wall right here. So Phantom Raikou taking a bit a page from the Crowd book, playing a little offensive. But let's go back a second. So this, unfortunately, I think could have been a lot better for Phantom Raikou, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong. But Phantom Raikou could go in. Copter takes this shot from the mountain, and then 8 HP hits this. It's guaranteed takeout on the infantry, because I calced it while the game was going on, and I know that it's a guaranteed takeout between the copter and that infantry. Then the tank goes, occupies the city, and smacks the anti-air down to 2 or 3 HP. That really hurts Kindle. Now, it's going to be really hard for Kindle to keep fighting into that. I think you hit that anti-air, you have the copter, there's no anti-air to follow up, and yeah, it's got some tanks, but Max has the terrain advantage, denies the city, and knocks that anti-air down, has copters ready to trade tanks. So many possibilities, but it is brawling on the weak side, so it could be bad, but I think it is worth it to take that anti-air out. Okay, yeah, it says, yeah, big missed opportunity. Okay, so I'm not totally out of my gourd, but we already saw that turn, so we can just skip through it. But if Phantom Raikou, he betrayed his instincts, he did not go in, you know, he didn't treat this game like it was Rocket League, and now he pays the price. And actually, this is a shot right here. It looks free, but the power could go online, but I don't think right now there's any threat of the power. But those powers go online pretty quick once these vehicles start fighting. The artillery goes right here, protected by the infantry. This is not solid, but we'll talk about that in a second. And great city shot. This is a great find by Crowd. Goes in, does 7 damage to that tank right there. The infantry, not able to take it out. It's down to 1 HP though, really good find, and now is pressuring the airport. This could be really bad. This anti-air though does not have the airport lock though. Where was the anti-air? Let's go back. Anti-air was here. If the anti-air was just a little bit more like squares over, it could have the airport lock. And then that airport is definitely going to go down. But wanted to protect it from this tank right here for sure. But I think there was maybe a way that these infantry could have been positioned, like put an infantry here, put infantry here, put one here maybe, and protect the anti-air such that it just needs to be 1 square over. It just needs to be here, and then the airport is locked. So it could be really dangerous. I guess it's not a full airport lock, as you know, Blue could build a copter and then put the tank right here, protect the airport. That would have been a good play. Okay. Yay, I'm glad people agree. I actually had a good analysis for once. I'm so excited. And goes in, attacking this, stopping the interrupt. Really nice interrupt there for stopping the cap. Really nice interrupt there for Gray. Threatening the airport. Phantom Raikou will be getting these 2 mid-cities, and will be up 1 city off of it. These 2 pretty uncaptured, but this guy should capture, this guy should capture, and all these back caps will finally have gone through for both players. Goes in, takes, oh, can't quite take it out. The infantry will finish the job, and the medium tank rolls in. Who cares about artillery range? And takes it out, and this tank even taking a shot here, and now the HQ rush has begun. Crowd's position's looking strong. It is looking strong. Goes in and hits the infantry there, down to 5 HP. And everything else shuffles forward. The copter gets built. There's no airport lock, as they said, so doesn't need a block for it with the tank. This tank will go on the city and blast the infantry. The 1 HP tank retreats. The copter goes towards the middle, and this tank goes in full broadside on that HQ. However, there is a problem. It's Urban Blight. This artillery can hit this medium, and also this artillery hits this medium tank. That will give that'll give some charge. The copter can also take out a tank. This anti-air will be able to trade a copter out, and the copter can attack the medium tank. It is very possible for Crowd to take out this medium tank right now. You go infantry over here. That's going to be a 1-shot. Then you use the artillery, take a shot on the medium tank. You can take a couple like small tank shots to get some charge. Pop Urban Blight, that thing's going to be like 4 HP, and then the copter and tank will take it out completely. Let's see what Crowd decides to do. First hits this down to 4. Okay, could the copter have gone on the HQ? No, it couldn't. This is kind of a nitpicky thing, but I disagree with the copter attacking this tank. I think this tank or this tank, yeah, this tank can't reach the HQ, should have attacked this tank here from the HQ. That's 40% extra attack, whereas here, that is not 40% extra attack. So that could have made a lot of difference right there. There's the artillery hitting, and now max force has been charged. The infantry picks off the 1 HP tank and going in. The tank moves up as well and hits the infantry down to 3 HP. And now the HQ... Okay, so now there's this. But, I mean, how much was this doing to a full HP tank? Could have popped Urban Blight actually, in fact, and would have almost taken it out guaranteed, meaning this copter could have attacked the medium tank or this tank perhaps, or something like that, a different target, but it's basically just a little inefficiency of attacking. But there goes the infantry. Everything else shuffles forward. No Urban Blight, though, and that Urban Blight would have really hurt. It would have hit the medium tank. It would have hit this tank right here. It would have hit the copter and this tank. And it would have stopped 2 caps, too. Oh, my gosh. Copter is lost to max power. Yeah, it is. It is lost to max power, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So good vision there. But that Urban Blight would have been so strong. I think Crowd needed to have hit the medium tank with the small tank just to get that Urban Blight. And that Urban Blight would have been so good. It stalls 2 captures. It hits this tank. It hits the medium tank. It would have done so much damage. It would have been so much damage. Crowd responds to the medium tank of his own there. And going to go in, take a shot there. But now Phantom Raikou gets those 2 captures and activates the max force. Now everything will go in, can hit the tank right here. And actually a couple turns ago, the artillery was actually hanging, but I missed it. And the copter one-shots Crowd's copter, and there's no counter over here. And goes in for a shot right there. Crowd's still looking good on this. The capture might go through, but this, and hits the artillery as well. Infantry takes it out. Gonna go in for some shots. Can't quite take it out, but we'll take all of this. And looking really strong. Medium tank hits the tank on the HQ. Hits that tank on the city. And this is looking... Ooh, even starts some captures. This is looking really good for Phantom Raikou right now. But it's now an HQ race. It's now an HQ race. Also, Anti-Air's got the airport lock now. The tank could hit the Anti-Air and then build a copter or something. But it might be easy to lock that copter in with these tanks. So, Blight prevents a guarantee HQ cap, I think, this turn. Yeah. Yeah, this is about to get really crazy. You guys are not ready for this. You guys are not ready for this. Told ya! There it is! The High Society has been activated, and we, unfortunately, I think Urban Blight is just objectively better. It would do, like, actually, Blue did a pretty good job of avoiding the buildings last turn, so it wouldn't have been as good Urban Blight as last turn, but still, High Society, let's see what damage that Crowd can do here. Going to take out a ton of infantry. Hey, guaranteed one shot with the High Society. Artillery as well taking out a shot, or taking out infantry there with a shot. Tank takes a shot, takes out all the tanks. Okay, so they're putting a lot of pressure on the HQ area. Gonna combine all those low HP infantries there, and also has eyes on the airport. This tank over here getting ready to go in on the action, and the 7 HP tank takes out that. And this tank actually goes in for the interrupt. And even that tank goes in, knocks that medium tank down to 2 HP. The infantry sacrifices itself. This is a little silly right here. This medium tank will one-shot this anyway. There's no reason to sacrifice this 3 HP tank on an infantry you're gonna one-shot. Oh no, and there's an infantry 2 square north of HQ. Yeah. Yeah, there is an infantry right there. So just throws away that 3 HP infantry there. You might as well just retreat it, or like try to bring it back to get healed or something, and then the medium tank will guaranteed take that out. But another medium tank in from Crowd, and this game is getting crazy. This game's getting crazy. Phantom, yeah, oof is right. But there's no anti-air or anything because it built the medium tank. And I think this anti-air needs to shift over and counter this copter. There's this copter here too, which is going to be an issue though. So Phantom Raikou going to grab a flip there. Now is up to cities and going to take out the infantry, or the tank right there. Going to take out that infantry. Can put an infantry on the city, but decides not to do that. Decides to just go after this. Protects it with the 2 HP medium tank. And the copter frees up the HQ, but there's no infantry that can go on it. So the HQ is safe for one more turn. And let's see what Crowd can cook up here as we go to the HQ race. Gonna start the airport capture. And everything else retreats. The artillery protecting everything from the medium tanks. This medium tank rolls in, bops that. Nice takeout there. Alternatively, how far is this copter from the airport? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay. So I just can't count. This copter could hit any copters that base skip. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a base skip. I think there were multiple base skips this game. I was thinking maybe the medium tank can hit the anti-air and then build a copter or something like that. But with power, the copter could reach. So going after the 6 HP tank, fair enough. And there it is, the Neo tank. I wonder if Semi's still watching. He's not going to be happy with this. The Neo tank is ready to steamroll everything over here. Counters this medium tank that rolls up. But it's not quite a base skip this turn. But occupies the HQ and just retreats over here. It looks like Gray is faltering on the attack and the defense. And Kindle High Society is so strong. Yeah, but Max is looking really strong right here. Medium tank goes back, and there's a Neo tank from Max. And the copter gets the interrupt. The copter gets a shot there. Tank takes it out. The infantry's all move up, ready to pounce on this HQ. Even taking a shot there, trying to disrupt the defensive. Anti-air gets the airport block right there. And there's the infantry, and this is looking really sketchy for Kindle. This infantry moves and attacks right here. Soap required ahead, exactly. But the soap cannon is all the way back here, and it is not ready to deal with these Neo tanks right here. And yeah, so first of all, this copter is just completely hanging to this anti-air. So that is that's really big. That allows this medium tank to come back and help out with the HQ defense. And between all of that, eventually Blue will run out of army over here, and Black or Gray will be able to recover. Or not even just recover, but push, get the airport flip, perhaps. It might be hard right now without anti-air though, or maybe like pressure the HQ. But we'll see what happens. Neo tank goes in, takes that out. Takes a couple shots there, and I think this break was a little bit incorrect here. I think this medium tank should attack. Actually, no. I think this move is fine, and then this 5 needs to take out this 1. So then this medium tank can take this out, because I think that's a one-shot. It is. Oh wait, that's on a city though. Not on city. It still is. So this 5 takes out this 1, and then this medium tank goes in, takes this out, and then obviously the anti-air takes out the copter, and then you like connected your army a little bit. This medium tank can even go help out if necessary, and Blue's gonna run out of forces. But I think going after this and going after this is not the correct play. Going to go in and traps the copter in with the infantry, but not going to be able to get the airport flip, and goes in on the HQ, clears it out completely. Now the artillery covers, the medium tank goes in, and the anti-air takes out the copter. Now max force has been charged. There it is, the rocket truck. The rocket has hit the field, and now it is ready to maybe go over here and just rain fire on that HQ. And now this is really insane. This game is insane. We had a high society. We've had base skips. We've had everything. So much. Both HQs are getting pushed super hard. But with this power, what can Max make happen? Goes in with the anti-air to take out that 2 HP infantry there, and hits the anti-air down to 1 HP. The HQ cap has been started. This infantry goes up, gets the KO. There's the medium tank ready to reinforce. There's the Neo tank. And how is Gray going to break through this? How can Gray break through this? And even going in over here, puts a unit on the HQ, takes a shot here on all the weakened infantry. Mech even gets involved. Medium tank just stays back here for right now. Copter clears out an infantry. The tank goes in, knocks that airport to infantry to 1 HP, so the airport's pretty safe. The medium tank moves up here to reinforce and also help out with this. However, there is an issue. There is an issue with this, is that now Kindle has a guaranteed win on this turn. So I will give you guys a second if you want to take a gander. I think chat is like a minute delayed for me. So I don't know what I'm gonna have to do to fix that. Maybe I need to like change my bit rate or whatever it's called. I don't know anything about streaming. I think chat's a little bit delayed for me, so I'll wait. But you guys can see the guaranteed win. Let us pop open the move planner. First of all, it's not on the move planner, is Urban Blight needs exactly 600 charge in order to go off. Move planner. So here, there's probably multiple ways to do this, okay? But here is how Gray can get a guaranteed win. You take this 1 HP anti-air and you attack this tank right here. It gets destroyed. Now, that is 800 of the 600 charge required to get Urban Blight. So you activate it. Bang. With Urban Blight. Oh, I can't really see if I do that. This artillery... Oh. Now, guaranteed one-shots the mech. So, artillery attacks mech. And then... You need... I think this... I kind of forget 100% of what it was. But I think you attack here. Take that out. Then this tank goes here. Hits this infantry right here. I wonder how much that does. I want to make sure I get this right. Now I'm like on stream. The pressure is on. This tank knocks this thing down to like 5. Then this infantry goes in, starts the cap. This infantry goes away somewhere. This medium tank comes in, finishes off this infantry right here. And then this tank goes here. That is a one-shot with Urban Blight. And there is no way that blue can get to the HQ. There's no way. You can use these infantry back here to kind of block for this tank right here, this 4 HP. And yeah, I mean, how, like, even these can get involved. You know, you surround the copter again. I don't see how anyone's breaking through this. I think Mac could have won, but he messed up his attack order last turn. Yeah, I think so too. But this wins the game, because not only does it capture the blue HQ, but it also, with the Urban Blight, stops the defense, or stops the cap of this HQ right here. So there might be more than one way to do this, but this is how I saw it. Okay. So let's see what actually happens. The artillery attacks that infantry right there. There's the copter surrounding right there. This infantry gonna get a city shot on that one. Goes in on the mech and takes it out. Medium tank goes in and starts the HQ cap. This tank goes in for the city shot, and the other infantries all move up. There's the Urban Blight, so the HQ cap is interrupted. Now that takes some damage. Rocket truck takes out the infantry on the city. Neo tank takes out that tank. The anti-air actually just runs away. And medium tank takes out another infantry there. But another medium tank gets built. Obviously had to base lock himself with the rocket. But now, unfortunately, the tables have turned, because this square is open, and now the 7 HP can get the interrupt. First of all, the airport gets liberated. Now that tank's going to get shot by the copter. There's the interrupt right there. And this has 10 capture points left. So blue needs to just take all of Gray's units out. And that's exactly what happens as all of these units disappear. Medium tank's down to 1 HP. But there is nothing that can save the HQ now. And there's no more Urban Blight. There's no breaking through. This HQ is just one turn too short. The HQ's safe now-ish, but there's nothing. And crowd resigns. Oh my, yes, this game is quality entertainment, yes. Oh, what a game. What a game. So, I mean, let's not be too hard on these players. They're both relatively new. And they're both like 800 elo level. So, you know, you're going to make mistakes, but it was actually a really intense game. And I had a lot of fun watching it play out. And they would always like talk trash to each other too, and it was an absolute hoot. But yeah, I saw some crazy tactics, an HQ rush. This game was amazing. And with that, we are going to conclude the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was so much fun. It always is. For some reason, MD didn't want to attack Max capping HQ. Yeah. Yeah, probably should have done that last turn. Think. Wait, this is... Yeah. Didn't want to attack that. Yeah, that was a little silly right there. But I think either way, like, even if their unit to symmetry did get attacked, I don't think there's any way that Gray was defending this at this point. But with that, that's all the replays I had on the docket. I hope you guys enjoyed all of those replays. Sorry there's no live league today. My brain's totally fried. And I wanted to look at some replays and show them off, learn a few things. Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. It's been fun. I'm trying to stream more, like, on a more consistent schedule. But, like, my only real free days are Mondays when we don't have D&D, because we play D&D every other Monday. But sometimes our schedule gets weird because we have to play around people's availability. But that's natural. So my streaming schedule is not going to be the most consistent, and I apologize for that. But thanks for the stream, Kessler. Hey, you're welcome. It's so much fun. I got some awesome videos that got recorded, and should see those coming up pretty soon. And yeah, I'll see you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.